David, an absolute pleasure to have you here. I was fascinated by what you said in your talk yesterday about the importance of humour in getting through life, and particularly in your films.
Yes.
And even when it comes to things like grief, as is very present in The Shrouds. Could you say a bit more about that, and particularly how you use humour in this film that we're going to see tonight?
I think all of my films are actually funny. I wouldn't say they're all comedies, but there's a lot of humor in them. And I think that that's because it reflects what humans have devised in order to get through life, which can be very difficult. There are many difficult things that we have to endure. The longer you live, the more you see how that works. And one of the many strategies that we have to get through it is humor and this sort of sense of the absurd. And so that naturally comes out in all of my films, including The Shrouds, which technically is a film about grief, but it's a film that was only about grief would probably be quite unbearable, I think. And I hope that my film is not unbearable. Well, and most filmmakers recently have been using AI for quite a few years. It's usually invisible. It's to create something, it's to correct something. And that's one of the lovely things about digital cinema as opposed to actual film, which we all have sort of nostalgic affection for, but really is not as good to work with as digital cinematography, for example. It's just another possible tool as far as I'm concerned. I'm not talking about its use as controlling the nuclear weapons storage, I'm just talking about movies. Of course, like any technology, it could be misused, it can be used for dangerous, it can be dangerous and so on. But in film, I really think it's exciting, and it's just, as I say, it's another tool, and one that I welcome, and I certainly have used it in my last couple of movies. There are things that you can correct. You can sort of relight the movie after you've shot it, and you can alter some things on people's faces that aren't supposed to be there. And instead of having to do 10 more takes, you can use the best take and correct it in the post-production. It's very straightforward stuff. It's like using Photoshop, really, on a still.